In this video, I'll be going over the Sui Network, which is a brand new Layer 1 blockchain that just launched their mainnet and token on May 3rd of 2023. The Sui Network is one of the most hyped up crypto projects we have seen in recent years, and some of the biggest crypto VCs are also backing it. So I'll be covering exactly what Sui is, who is behind it, their ecosystem, my price analysis, as well as if this project has potential to go really big in the next bull run. So if that interests you, well then you're in the right place. This is the video for you. So be sure to stick with me until the very end. Without further ado, let's get right into it and let the gains be with you. Welcome to Crypto Empire. My name is Connor, and this is where we dominate the crypto market. Now, Sui is already ranked number 65 with a market cap of $706 million. The fully diluted market cap, meaning if all 10 billion Sui coins were in circulation, it would be $13.37 billion. So that is a huge discrepancy in the numbers. And the reason that is because only 5% of the Sui coins are in circulation at the moment. So Sui is the biggest hyped up layer 1 crypto blockchain we have seen in quite a long time, and all the big crypto VCs are also backing it. The Sui Foundation raised $3 billion in funding in the bear market for this project. So is it all hype or is it the real deal? Let's get into that right now. In regards to what Sui is, it is a layer 1 blockchain and smart contract platform. It was designed and built from the ground up, and it does use the Move programming language. This is a new programming language. Right now, the only two layer 1 blockchains that are using it are Sui as well as Aptos. So Aptos is a direct competitor of Sui, and it also had similar tokenomics when it launched, right? Really bad fully diluted market cap valuation ratios. But these two projects are certainly two to keep an eye on as we move closer to that next bull run. Now, Sui was created by Miston Labs, and the founders of Miston Labs all held very high positions at Facebook, now known as Meta, and they were also responsible for the Diem blockchain, which was Facebook's blockchain that did actually fail to launch. So these guys have been working on building blockchains for numerous years now, and their final result is now the Sui Blockchain Network. So Evan Cheng is the founder, and then they have some other big names in here as well, but the main guy is Evan Cheng. Now, what makes Sui unique? Simply put, it is very highly scalable. Through features such as horizontal scaling, composability, sparse replay, and on-chain storage, Sui's architecture solves pain points common to first-generation blockchains such as Ethereum. Sui uses horizontal scaling, which just means that it can run multiple transactions at the same time. And if you're wondering what this network's transaction per second is, well, it is up to 297,000 transactions per second. So we can see right here, a Sui network with 100 globally distributed validators achieve peak throughput ranging from 10,871 transactions per second to 297,000 transactions per second on various workloads. So it is very highly scalable. Now, in regards to the Sui token, its use case is very similar to any other layer 1 blockchain's main token. It's used to pay for gas and transaction fees on the network. And Sui was very hyped up because it was anticipated that they were going to do a community airdrop for early users of the network. And the airdrop farming was rampant. It was all over social media, Twitter, YouTube. People were getting hundreds of thousands to millions of views on their Sui Network airdrop videos. But it turns out that Sui did not do any airdrop at all. They actually did a sale available to the community. They did two phases of the token sale. The first one they did was a token community access program. And the thing was that if it was an airdrop, well then everybody would have been eligible to receive the Sui token. But because they used a sale, a fundraise, it was not available for, as we can see here, US citizens and or residents. And this did make a lot of people unhappy, including myself, but it is what it is. Now, this sale was divided up into two phases. The first one was the recognition sale, and you had to have been whitelisted by the Sui Foundation to get access to the recognition sale. And the recognition sale was very favorable because if you were whitelisted, you were able to purchase up to 1,500 tokens at 3 cents each. All right, and the current price of a Sui token is $1.34, meaning that if you were able to buy the Sui tokens at 3 cents each, it would have cost you $45 to get the maximum allocation at 1,500 tokens. that is now worth $2,002, as you can see here. So that was very favorable. Now the second phase of that sale allowed participants to purchase up to 10,000 SUI tokens at 10 cents each, which means it was a maximum allocation of $1,000. And if you got access to that sale, you put in $1,000 for the 10,000 tokens, it would now be worth $13,364. So if you got into the early access of Sui, you already did extremely well. And the good news is that, in my opinion, Sui is a blockchain that does have a lot of potential to perform well in the future. So yes, it was disappointing that Sui did not do an airdrop, but there's nothing we can do about it but look forward and capitalize on the opportunities in front of us. And before I move on to the Sui ecosystem, I do want to go over the token distribution and allocation. Over here in the bottom right of this graph is Sui. And as we can see with Sui, 46% of the coins of the tokens went to the foundation, and then 34% went to the team and the VCs. So that means 80% of Sui coins went to basically insiders, and that only leaves 20% for the public sale as well as the ecosystem and community. Now this chart, this graph compares the Sui token distribution to a lot of other main layer 1 blockchains. And as we can see, Sui is by far the worst in terms of distribution, because 80% of the supply is in the hands of the foundation, the team, the VCs, the early backers, and that does leave a very small amount for everybody else, the retail investors. But this is the current state of the blockchain industry in 2023. This was a Facebook project, so really it doesn't surprise me. But these horrible, tokenomics don't really concern me for the future of the project, because we've seen Aptos do wild numbers also with very unfavorable tokenomics and a really bad fully diluted market cap ratio. So this is definitely concerning, but it's not the end all be all. I still think Sui can do very well for this next bull run. Now, moving on in regards to the Sui ecosystem. So here is Evan Cheng, the Sui founder, and he is basically saying how he plans on having Sui as a main player in the blockchain gaming space. And that does make sense, being how fast and scalable the network actually is. And the mainnet just went live yesterday, and the token also just went live yesterday on May 3rd. Coincidentally enough, that was also FOMC day. So to me, that was some collusion there between the market makers to launch it on the FOMC day to get a ton of volatility and a ton of interest for the token price. But in regards to the ecosystem, they do plan on being a main player in blockchain gaming. So it is definitely something to keep an eye on at the current moment in time and going into the future. The mainnet just launched, so there's no real games on it just yet. And there is a pretty vast ecosystem already being built over on Sui. They have a ton of decentralized applications already launching, from lending and borrowing protocols. This one here, Thala, is a stablecoin protocol very similar to MakerDAO. They have liquid staking, they have DEXs. So they are building an ecosystem. It's a layer 1 blockchain. But the thing is, my main concern is that they need to be able to compete and differentiate themselves between all the Ethereum layer 2 scaling solutions. Because in 2021, the layer 1 blockchain narrative was the meta. All the layer 1 coins pretty much perform the best compared to all altcoins. But now we have Ethereum layer 2s, which use the Ethereum mainnet for security, and they are highly scalable. So in order for Sui to really succeed in the long term, it needs to differentiate itself and give itself a unique selling point that can compete with Ethereum layer 2s and the security of the Ethereum network. So that's really the only main concern I have with Sui. Of course, the market cap ratio is not great, but I have seen how that doesn't necessarily matter and doesn't necessarily impact the short-term token price. I still think that the Sui token can really pump, even in this current bear market that we are in, but especially in the upcoming bull run. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the Sui price chart. So the token launched at 10 cents on pretty much every major centralized exchange in the industry. And from there, it did actually peak out at $2. So that was an instant 20x if you did manage to somehow snipe it as soon as it was released on the exchanges, or if you got into either of those pre-sale rounds at 3 cents a piece or 10 cents a piece, you are already up massive, as we discussed earlier on in the video. Now, we can see from this chart that not a lot is happening. It is in consolidation, with the lows down here towards $1.20 and the highs up here peaking at exactly $1.50. So this is our demand and this is our supply. Really not too complicated with these new token releases. The most recent one that I would compare to Sui would be Arbitrum. So here I want to show you an Arbitrum chart just for comparison's sake. And we can see on Arbitrum that that bottom demand zone did serve as a pretty good entry price, right? It did have this low, it broke it to former demand zone. And then if you bought down here towards the lows, $1.10 or so, you would have had a pretty good gain if you did wait for it to go ahead and pump. So if we head back to Sui and just compare those two charts, because again, Arbitrum is the closest comparison really that we have in current times. We can also look at Aptos, but that launched in the dead of the bear market. It was different market conditions. But essentially all I would look for here on the Sui chart is a move down towards the 120 area. Maybe it deviates this low, it bases for a bit, and it reclaims. If you see a reclaim like this, that's going to be a very good longing opportunity. And I would simply just look to long it back up to the highs in terms of short-term trading. Now, in terms of the long term, if you're a big believer in this project and you want to accumulate this for the next bull run, I think it will give you some multiples. I'm not sure about a price prediction. It's very early on. There's no history to go off in this chart, but I think this thing could reach multiple dollars at the very least. So if that's the case and you want to invest in this one, you want a dollar cost average into it, and you want to hold it as one of your main altcoin positions for the next bull run, I don't think that's a horrible idea, but I'm not going to personally do that myself. But if that's you, I would just look to buy it as close to $1.25 as possible over time. Not sure how much time we're going to have with it below $1.25, but when the market gives it to you and you're a big believer in this project and you want to hold it for the long term, or at least until the next bull market, well, then you want to get it as low as possible, and below $1.25, in my opinion, is going to be the best method to do that. So in this video, we covered the Sui network, from who is behind the project, the token sale, and the airdrop that never happened. And we also took a look at the ecosystem as well as my price analysis. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you let me know by smashing that like button down below. And if you are brand new to Crypto Empire and you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button down below and turn on all bell notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. And my name is Connor from Crypto Empire, and I will see you in the next video.